I was like, I'm mixing always between Nazdrovia and Koshonom and Egeshegedre. I know how to say it in like fucking 10 different languages. Because I used to work at a restaurant in London, and the tradition with all my co-workers, when we closed the restaurant and we were like finishing the day, the manager would give us a beer, but the rule is that you had to say cheers in your own language.
Okay.
So we had a Russian say Nazdrovia and salute, and so I learned how to say it, but the Hungarian is always very useful. Bienvenidos a un episodio más de Champaña, por favor, podcast, episodio número cerca del 90, no me acuerdo en cuál vamos exactamente, pero ¿qué creen? Esta vez vamos a hablar, tenemos por segunda ocasión alguien de Hungría en este micrófono, porque ya hemos tenido varias nacionalidades aquí, de lo cual estoy muy orgulloso, pero creo que la primera que se repite es Hungarian. Hoy tenemos aquí a Mate Sipos. How you doing, my man?
Good, I'm ready.
Cool to have you here. It took a little bit of convincing to bring him over.
But finally I'm here.
But fuck yeah, made it. Egeshegedre again. So, primero que nada les tengo que agradecer a ustedes. Ay, qué sabroso sabe la cervecita a esta hora del día. Que bueno, esto ustedes lo están escuchando un 28 de abril. Creo que sí salió un 28 de abril. Lo cual quiere decir que estoy hablándole al auditorio del futuro, porque ya tuvimos ya tuvimos el curso en persona en el que hablamos sobre body language. Un total exitazo, se llenó el salón. Desde el 16 de abril se llenó el cupo que pues teníamos limitado. Y pues está chingón poderlos tener face to face. Ahí conocimos a mucha de la gente que escucha los episodios y que pudimos hacer el curso en persona. Y el día 22, que también pues obviamente ya pasó, hicimos el curso en línea para hablar sobre Deep Discovery. Si usted se perdió ese curso, no pasa nada. Lo puedes pagar y pues ya está grabado y puedes ver la grabación todas las veces que quieras. Hecho ese comercial, les cuento de qué vamos a hablar hoy. Les pido a ustedes que se traten de ir hacia atrás a recordar su primer año en Timeshare, tu primer mes en Timeshare, tu primera semana en Timeshare. O sea, ¿qué tan perro atropellado te sientes cuando te dicen, ok, mira, la cosa está así, tú vas a saludar a tu pareja, te los vas a llevar a desayunar y luego les vas a mostrar y luego les vas a explicar y tú así como, ¿what? Como, ajá, y después de eso, ¿qué? O sea, yo solo, sí, vas a mostrar números y entonces ibas a hablar de tantos miles de dólares. Y, ¿what? ¿Qué? ¿Cómo? O sea, si no tenías un conocimiento previo de este negocio, es muy raro. O sea, it's a weird world.
Yes.
Weird, twisted, and...
and a beautiful world.
Beautiful, twisted, and a little bit fucked up.
Yes.
A little bit fucked up. So, that's what we're going to talk about. Newbies, how to become resourceful. Because when we first start, first let's start with one of the most important things.
Okay.
I already told people that you're from Hungary.
Yes.
But how long have you been to Mexico?
In Mexico already 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
And you've been in Timeshare for that entire time?
Yeah.
So when you were in Hungary, did you have any idea that this existed?
No.
Maybe Timeshare in Spain, or have you heard of it?
Nothing.
So what's the concept that people from Hungary and Central Europe have about these memberships and vacation clubs? Is there any kind of knowledge about it?
I don't think so, honestly.
Me neither.
I don't think so. Or if there are any, I think we are skeptical.
Very
skeptical.
Because remember when you tour your first German couple, because they do come to the Mayan Riviera every now and then.
They do.
Usually it's people that spend and travel a lot.
They spend money. It's the issue is not the money.
It's the trust.
Yes.
Yeah, because they don't trust this monkey business of the idea of doing it today.
Not only Timeshare, but put it that way, that we do not have like the concept of Costco back home.
Not kind of club, no club whatsoever. No. Okay.
According to my knowledge, no.
So when they explained it to you, like this is how it works, people pay for a membership, what did you think as a European?
I was skeptical too. It's like, what? People buy this? And they do. They do.
And do you remember, like, what was the most part, or the I don't know, what kept you so skeptical about it? Was there something particularly that, I don't know?
I think the whole idea for me. Like, thanks God I grew up traveling.
Yes.
But we never went to an all-inclusive hotel.
Okay.
We went a lot to Croatia, to France, skiing.
Okay.
But I never heard about timeshare. I didn't know that this thing exists.
Wow.
And then I arrived to Cancun. And actually my wife, Majo, started to work in timeshare. And I didn't understand what's her job. But I remember the first paycheck that she received, $2,200.
Okay.
Okay, I said, okay, for that amount of money, I can learn it now.
Now I'm curious. I want to know
exactly.
more.
Tell me more. No?
Because when you think about it, it's crazy that we can get people to say yes in the very first day when you met them. They trust you with thousands of dollars, but specifically with skeptical people from all over the world. Doesn't matter where they are, but especially when they are European.
Yeah, tough market.
Oof, I think it's twice as difficult, because think about it as Mexican, Latin American, or whatever you're from. We do have memberships for almost everything. We have a gym membership. We have Costco. We have Spotify. We're used to pay monthly.
At my barber shop, they have a membership.
For example,
So what?
I don't know, there's gas stations in Mexico where they give you a card, a loyalty card, and you press the thingy and then you get something. In Europe, that I don't even remember.
I don't think so. No, I don't remember. Like
when I was living in London, I remember I used to say if they had any kind of reward for a frequent guest. I mean, that Chinese restaurant I used to go all the time, I would have free meals all the time because I used to go day in, day out. But nothing. I mean, not even like a fucking calendar at the end of the year. Nothing. There were no gifts for the loyalty. And I don't know, for hotels, for stuff like that. I remember when I was working at restaurants, we had these, how do you say, like repetitive customers that go all the time. There was... I still remember that if you ever go to London, there's a chain of restaurants called Ask, as A-S-K. It's an Italian restaurant. There's like maybe 10 or 15 of them around London, all over the city. And I used to work near a tube station.
Okay.
Right? So there was a lot of movement around lunchtime because there were a lot of offices. So I remember... there were a couple of gentlemen, elder. I think they were friends from some sort of club of something, like reading or I don't know. I don't remember, but they always came together. And then I had another lady who was an executive from a bank. Okay. I don't know which one. And then I had another couple. These guys were in their 40s, maybe. They used to go always in the weekends. I still remember what they used to order because it was always the same thing.
Wow.
Like the lady from the bank, she would always do the same process, like look at the menu and order lasagna al forno, a glass of white wine. Once she was done, it was a tiramisu and 2 espresso.
Okay.
She would have espresso, the tiramisu, and then the last espresso, and she would be gone. Always in the same order, always pretending to read the menu, like why do
maybe
you do
this
it?
time I'm gonna try something new.
And she always did the same, right?
Sounds like me.
Always. And then she was at the restaurant every 2 days, every 3 days, right? And I don't remember us giving her anything for her loyalty or like, I don't know,
reward program,
nothing,
points, something.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So those little things are a good example of how these idea of clubs and loyalty in America and all the continent is different, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. Very interesting.
I never thought about it, but when I think it was probably, I don't remember who. I think it was Sami, the guy from Belgium that I interviewed, that he said, in Europe we don't have any idea of club. And I'm like, hold on, that's true. that doesn't exist. It's just maybe golf clubs and that's it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, when you first started, what was the most difficult part for you being as skeptical as you were?
The most difficult.
Like, what was the most challenging part in your learning process in timeshare?
I don't know. I was moving around a lot in my life. I used to live in the States. I moved in the States. So I was kind of used to it for the new things. Like I do understand, or I did understand that this is a process and you got to learn it. And how my brain works, that I need to understand it for me to transmit it.
Okay.
So I was very, very focused to understand the whole process. But difficulties, I think I enjoyed the process.
Okay.
I really like to talk to people, connect with people. And I'm a traveler myself, so...
Okay. So that's your way to bond with people, talk about traveling? Okay.
I can rely on my experiences.
Okay. So let me give you an example of those, I don't know, stories that I always use to connect to people.
Okay.
And then you share a few examples of yours.
All right.
When I feel like somebody's really, really closed, you know, like they're not sharing, they don't even want to talk and whatever. If we're walking around the hotel and, you know, silence is uncomfortable for most customers, even when they are like resistant and they don't want to talk and they're trying to stroke you and just be done with the time. There is a point in time when they get uncomfortable and start asking stupid questions.
They will talk.
So how long have you been doing this? Or are you actually from here? For how long have you been working for this company?
Okay.
Those are the icebreakers.
Yep.
Telling you, please talk because I'm uncomfortable with the silence, right? And I use one of those questions. And for example, when they ask me, so for how long have you been doing this? I don't answer right away. I would say, you know what? I was thinking about it 2 days ago, and this was a 6 months plan that became permanent. It's been 11 years now. And I gotta say, I don't miss those days working at the government. I don't miss those days working in a small cubicle, stuck in an office. What I'm making you is to ask me more about
Exactly.
it. Like what you used to do before. Where were you living? Or I don't miss those days in London. I was in London before here. Not true. I was in Morelia.
No, but you want to make them talk.
But I want them to talk about, I want them to ask me about London. Like, what was
What
a
did you do?
Mexican guy doing in England? And it starts a conversation, right? Do you have any stories
Absolutely.
like that? What do you use?
Well, at the beginning, I was like, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to ask, when did you arrive? How's your vacation? You know. No, I was like, I need to come up with something different, no? That people do not expect.
Are you celebrating something? Is this your first time in Mexico?
Is it a welcome or a welcome back?
Shit, yes.
And I came up with something like stupid, but I made people laugh.
Okay.
I went there to the hostess, introduced myself, and I was like, guys, just a question. Do you like my shoes? I just purchased these shoes 3 days ago. And my wife said that super ugly. They were like, what?
That's unexpected.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Breaking the ice.
In a fantastic way. Because then you make it about you.
Exactly.
And it's something funny.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And nowadays that I'm doing, I'm making fun of my accent.
Okay.
Hey guys, look, English is my third language. I know that sounds like either Borat or like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let me know if you do not understand this sexy accent. I mean, nothing gonna change, but I'm gonna write it down. Exactly.
I love it. Yeah. Of course.
You gotta do something different.
We should do that more. Especially there's a lot of people that are very, I don't know, shy about having an accent when we speak in English. And I always tell these guys, listen, in most cases you speak more languages than your customer. Usually Americans only speak one and that's it.
Maybe two.
Maybe, but it's rare. Most Americans don't speak, they're not even bilingual.
No.
So when you speak more than one, feel proud about it.
And I think they appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, it's my accent because I speak more than one.
Exactly.
Guess what?
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
It's not my first language, like you said, but it sounds different the way you say it. It's my third language, so sorry if the sexy accent doesn't. Wow, that's awesome. And what's the reaction that you get from them? When
they're laughing. They're laughing. If they don't laugh, I know that's gonna be a tough tour. So I gotta
exactly. That's a very good way to make the temperature gauge.
Exactly, just to see where they at. It's a good one. I like it. And I'm laughing too with them. You know.
Of course, yeah.
Like I really laughing with them in the first 2 to 3 minutes.
And I guess that pushes the conversation towards where you're from and to tell your story.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So where you from? How long you been here? So I kind of got a track, the warm up.
Yes. Yeah, and then
they gotta ask back.
Of course, and then you start selling your story.
Exactly. Where is this accent coming from? How did you end it up here?
Of course.
So it's a good one.
Yeah, you start making the interview about you.
Exactly.
But it's a very great way to start a conversation, not making it about the awkward elephant in the room, like why are you here?
Exactly. And the connecting, you know? Because if they do not trust you, they're not gonna buy nothing.
Of course.
So for me, the first step, sell yourself.
Of course.
And then today, and then the product, and etc.
And how often do you get a good bonding with people because of the fact that you're an immigrant, like probably your customer is?
I like to work with Russians or Slavic that they live in the States.
Of course.
I can bond them like this.
Yes.
I think I bond pretty fast and easy with the people.
Okay. That's a superpower.
I think so.
Yeah.
You gotta build rapport fast.
And is there any nationality that it usually you get stuck with?
Yes.
Which one?
No offense to no one.
I've said it many times. Chinese and myself, no click.
No?
I don't know. There's something about.
It's hard to
I have
read
no
them.
explanation. But when I see in my invitation Xing Shang and Wang Xing Xing, is like fuck me.
There you go.
Because I haven't found a way. I'm always working around learning and trying
Chinese,
to.
no, haven't figured it out.
I haven't.
But you don't have a lot of Chinese.
We do, depending on the season, but second generation.
Ah, okay.
Not from China, but we have a lot of second generations.
Okay. For me, honestly, it's the Argentinian market.
Is it?
Yes. First of all, it's super hard for me to understand the accent. And they talk so fast.
Yes. I mean, it's tough even for Spanish speakers.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I actually have an episode about it with
Chafardini.
We spoke entirely about Argentinian customers.
When I started to work in Spanish, I was watching those episodes. I said, please, I need some help.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know nothing about football.
Which is weird, because you're from Europe.
Yes.
So, when you first came to Mexico, were you expecting that people were so passionate about football? Or what was your expectation?
I think here in Mexico, it's kind of like a religion.
Yes, totally agree. Because I've lived in Europe, and I remember people being really passionate.
Like London?
In London, in Spain.
Germany,
It's crazy.
Italy.
And I lived in Argentina when I was in high school on a student exchange.
Okay.
And it's crazy. Whatever you think about passion for football, it's nothing compared to Argentina.
It's crazy.
Overwhelming.
So I had to Google the teams, I learned the teams. It was... No, but Argentina is tough for me. It was, kind of a learning experience.
But for you, it's really easy to bond with Slavic, with Russians.
Yeah.
And what's the reaction that you get when you tell people that you're from Hungary? Have you come across often with people who have visited Hungary?
Yes. Actually, yes. And I was surprised.
Okay.
So, we've been there. We went there. Ah, okay.
Okay.
But I met a lot of people that they really had no clue that it is a country.
Where is that?
Said, are you hungry?
It's like Turkey. Is that a country or a bird?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, but
in Hungary, because it's a very touristic place.
Yes.
I've been to Hungary, and I highly recommend people to visit Hungary.
Yes.
When I landed in Budapest, I was expecting something beautiful. Totally underrated. That city, I think it has it all. It's beautiful. It has amazing buildings. Food is fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
Whomever wants to go to Hungary can contact Mate and ask him for advices. And if you want to contact me, I can tell you my little story as a tourist and the do's and the don'ts of. I did a lot of research because I was traveling solo, and I did not want to make the stupid mistakes to go to tourist traps. And I asked Mate, where should I go eat? Because one of the biggest reasons for me to travel is the food. I want to try the food. He recommended me a Hungarian buffet restaurant.
That restaurant.
Man,
oh my goodness gracious.
That was amazing.
And you can try all the specialties from Hungary.
Yes.
In that little restaurant.
They have great salads, the soup.
The goulash.
Goulash is one of my favorite dishes in the world now. So in Hungary, they have, a culture around Chile, in case you didn't know. So for us Mexicans, the colors in the flag, it's almost the same. It's green, white, and red. So that is a way to bond automatically with a country when their flags are the same colors. But then you go to the, souvenir stores and you see the flags and a lot of chili peppers everywhere. Yep. Right? And there's spicy food in Hungary as well. A lot of the population is Catholic. So they're very family oriented and the traditions are similar. So for us Mexicans, believe it or not, it's easy, as Latin Americans, I would say, to bond with Hungarians.
And reverse to me, when I came to Mexico,
yes,
shit, I love this culture. You guys love to drink, to eat, to party. Shit, I'm home, man.
I think you are the biggest taco lover I've met.
Yeah, possibly, yes.
Mate could eat tacos all day long.
I could, man. I could.
Tacos, beer, and heat, you're fine.
I'm good,
right?
I'm good. I'm an easygoing guy. Give me a beer, give me my taco, I'm good.
Living large.
Yeah.
Egészségedre. That's how you say prost, salud, or whatever. So talking about going back to how you bond with people and the storytelling, what do you think is important for the newbies to talk about? I'm asking you because there's, I would say 40-50% of the audience are newbies in their first year of timeshare, second year of timeshare. And some of them might be going through a slump as we speak, right? How do you get out of a slump 6 years in?
How do I get out of the slump? I think it's a huge help if you have savings.
Oof. Amen to that.
I mean, we are on commission. Everybody on this totally normal ups and downs. Sometimes you make a lot of money, sometimes less, sometimes nothing. But you gotta be smart. You need to have always savings.
Yes.
And even though you have savings, it's gonna be tough once you are done. But I think that it's a huge help if you have savings. I don't know, 3-4 months. Put it aside.
I think that should be a rule.
It's a must.
Always having.
It's a must.
At least 3 months of your expenses.
At least 3 months.
Yeah.
And just go back to the basics.
And how do you do that? How would you define for you the process of, okay, I need to go back to basics? What
First
do you
of all,
change?
Before I'm going back to the basics, disconnect.
Okay.
Disconnect. Enjoy this city or Vallarta or wherever they're selling timeshare.
Interesting. Okay.
Go to the beach, go to a party, go have a nice dinner. Disconnect.
Yes. Don't just stay home.
No, that's the worst. Because it's like a spiral. You're gonna think about it now.
Yes.
Disconnect, enjoy, and just have fun. Because once you are done, the energy change.
Yes. Yeah,
and you have the commission bread, no?
I was thinking about it as you speak, and yes, when you go back to work with a tan with the skin still a little bit red because you went to the beach yesterday.
Beach club.
And you went to a new restaurant that you haven't tried. Your vibe is different.
Totally
it's like
different.
A tourist talking to another tourist.
Exactly.
Sharing.
Exactly.
You know what? Yesterday I went to this place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like to go to Isla Mujeres a lot.
Okay.
To have the feeling.
Uh-huh.
And for me, what's important, to travel.
Uh-huh.
You're selling vacations.
Yes.
You gotta travel yourself, no?
Absolutely. Yeah, timeshare sells people that don't travel equals selling cars and you don't know how to drive.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And be prepared for the downs.
Okay.
How do I mean it? It's like everybody gonna have downs.
Yes.
And recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta admit, say, you know what? Something is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the key.
And I think trusting the fact that not the peak and not the slump are permanent.
Exactly.
Because when you're in a role and you have 10 deals in a month, 15 deals in a month, and you feel
Perfect.
like you are amazing and the best sales executive ever, that's also dangerous because you forget about being humble and you forget about writing things down and
take
following
notes
the process, always taking notes, because you're going to go back
exactly
to a slump. It's just natural.
But I think you cannot judge the business according to 1 month and not even according to 1 season.
No.
It's the year.
Yes.
How much money you made on a yearly base.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a great insight. If you want to know exactly how much money you are making, because I don't know you personally, you person listening to these, I don't know you personally. I don't know how your bank account looks like, but I can tell you exactly what's your salary a month in monthly basis. It's really easy to figure it out. I can ask your boss, how much did you make? How much did you sell in the last 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months? And if I go back to 12 months and I start calculating and then I make, like a standard
exactly
of every month, then I'm going to have an average of how much you're making.
That's an average net.
Mm-hmm. And that's the salary that you're paying yourself.
Exactly.
So when you do that exercise and you don't stay just with the good number in your head.
Or with the bad.
With like, oh, you know what? This February was amazing. I made $20,000.
Okay.
Great. How much did you make the month before? Well, just maybe $1,500.
Okay. So you made 21 divided by 2. That's 10. Okay. That's still.
And then let's go back to the month before, and before,
exactly.
and before,
exactly.
and before. So you had 6 shitty months, and you had a good one. So
I don't know.
You're not that good.
Exactly.
You're average.
And you know what? The other thing, trust the process.
Okay.
Trust the process.
Like, from A to Z.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But I know that I'm speaking to a very disciplined person because I know you personally, right? But what's your routine, your daily routine?
Well, I read it somewhere that for you to masterize something, you gotta invest 10,000 hours, which I don't really agree. I mean, you're not gonna masterize nothing in 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours for you to have the basics.
Yes. For you to be somewhat of, an expert.
You gotta put in the time.
Yes.
There is no shortcuts. Maybe from outside it looks easy. You just have breakfast with the clients and you sell. Okay. But what's behind that?
Yes.
You gotta get ready. You have to train yourself, no? Like I'm a huge boxing fan.
Okay.
I've been boxing for 15 years.
Okay.
And this is kind of my mentality that when I'm with the clients, that's the fight.
Okay.
But you don't practice during the fight.
Yeah, you gotta
You
train
gotta
a lot.
go to the gym
A lot.
and practice. And whenever it's showtime, you gotta be ready.
Okay.
And I'm doing training, constantly training. And this year, right now, actually, I'm doing a Tony Robbins seminar.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
I highly recommend to everybody.
Which seminar are you making?
Mastering Influence.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. It's free.
Okay.
You can print out the notebook.
Okay.
It's 10 days, every day 1 hour. And you got your homework. It's really, really good.
Nice.
Earlier this year, I did a communication training.
Okay.
I mean, we are in the communication business.
Totally.
That's it. I mean.
And do you have any, I don't know, rituals or schedule in daily basis?
Yes.
Because, for instance, I always wake up at the same time and I do the same things.
Me too.
Meditate for a little while before I go to shower. Dress up, get ready, whatever, drive. And while I'm driving, I don't carpool. So for those who ask me for a ride, I'm happy to take you to work if I don't know, something went wrong, but I don't love it because I like to be listening to useful things or music that pumps me up or something that puts me in a good mood before getting to work. I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to no bullshit thing that's gonna draw my energy somewhere else.
Exactly.
I like to be pumped up before I go to work.
I like it. I think the preparation starts, at least for me, one night before.
Okay.
I'm going early to bed, like 9:30. I'm already in my bed, and I do my meditation.
Okay.
Or visualization.
Yes.
Then the next day, I always like you, I wake up at 5:50.
Okay.
And I do a morning affirmation.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. The night before, I already have my clothes.
Okay. So you get ready before you go to bed?
Yes, because then with the clothes that I put it aside, I'm going to visualize, I'm going to have this shirt, these pants, and from handshake to handshake, I visualize my tour.
Okay. Programming yourself.
Exactly. Then the morning, I have one rule that I do not turn on my phone before 7 a.m.
Oh, wow.
I don't do Facebook, and no.
Interesting. So then the first contact that you have with social media, it's after the morning meeting. Okay, interesting. That's a good one.
I mean, sorry, I'm listening Spotify.
Yeah, but that's not social media.
Exactly. So I turn on my phone, but I do not open up my social media.
That's very good. Okay.
And I don't really listen music. I listen Resilient Mind on Spotify.
Resilient Mind. Is that a podcast?
It's a podcast.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna write that down.
I highly recommend
Resilient Mind. Okay. So I guess it's about mindset.
Absolutely, mindset. It's how I like to say that when I got my tour, I must be in peak state.
Okay.
Because how many hours we work on a daily, actually work?
2
hours.
3. If you exaggerate.
But that 3 hours or 2 hours, you gotta be 100% focused.
Oh yeah. That's the side effect when you don't sleep well, when you're hungover, when you're not there mentally. Sometimes, for example, one of my coworkers a few days ago, she was so upset because her dog was diagnosed with final stage of cancer.
Okay.
So that dog is not gonna make it after maybe no more than 2 weeks. So she was really upset because her dog has been with her for like 15 years. That
drains you.
She wasn't there. You could tell that she was not focused. She was worried and she wanted to be on the phone with the doctor because there was a surgery. And it's a dog. Can you imagine when it's your son, your mom, when something personal is happening? It's so fucking difficult.
It's hard. It's very hard, but it's your problems or your private life. It's kind of like a backpack. At the office, you gotta leave it out there.
Yeah, in your car.
Leave
it in the trunk.
And trust me,
it's gonna be there.
It's not gonna run away.
That shit's waiting for you.
But you got that one chance that day.
Yeah. Is there in these affirmations, in this visualization, how do you say it? What's the word? Visualización aquí en inglés traducida, por favor. Is the sexy accent, the Arnold Schwarzenegger sexy accent coming up. So when you do those exercise, the mindset and stuff, how do you picture yourself? How do you create that image?
It's a movie.
Okay.
I see a movie.
Okay.
I already have it.
Okay.
It's mine. That belongs to me.
Uh-huh.
I just have to go there and collect it.
So you're the director of that movie, and you know how it's gonna end.
I'm the director and I'm the superstar.
Love it. Uh-huh.
And the other thing that for me it's very, very important is the gym.
Okay.
I'm going every day.
Okay.
I mean, Monday to Friday.
Uh-huh.
1 hour. 1 hour. Again, to disconnect.
No, and I mean, if it's boxing and you had a shitty tour,
Oh, man.
sometimes when you go back home driving after a bad day, after you had one of these Mr. Know-it-alls that was like, yeah, but if I put this money in the stock market, I'm gonna, and you go like, motherfucker.
Exactly.
You have a punching bag.
Literal
punch bag.
And you just let it
Fuck
go.
you. Yes. Yeah. I agree with you.
And believe me, after 1 hour, you're not going to think about that guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember Carolina was recommending working out for that reason. Like, it helps your mind to drain everything that happened. Because think about it, if you're listening to this after a bad day or after a bad week, don't think about it, just feel your body for a second. Like, take a deep breath. Okay, and try to identify where's the tension in your body.
You can feel it.
Absolutely. Where is it? Where's the uncomfort? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? Is it in the back of your neck? Do you feel like your jaw, it's all tense and, probably you're mad, you're angry, and there's no way to release that anger. And then you're just going to keep it there until tomorrow when you talk to another Indian guy that tells, I'm not going to think about it. I need to think about it. You're like, fuck me, man. Well, yes, if you don't drain yourself, it's going to be there. Yeah.
And you're going to take care about yourself.
Time bomb.
Your body, your mind.
Yes. It's your tool.
Exactly. That's the most precious asset that we have is this.
Would you say that you're always learning something new?
Oh, of course. Every day.
And how do you pick what to learn?
How do I pick what to learn?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because, I mean, there's so much knowledge out there. There's so much stuff about seminars and movies and podcasts and books, and there's so much. Maybe about timeshare, there's not like that much, but there are some information out there.
But not necessarily timeshare.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe not product knowledge. Body language, communication, I don't know, tonality.
Yes.
Closing, how to connect with people. It's a lot of things. And I like to read. I like to read.
That's very European of you.
Well.
Yeah. Because I recommend always, if you like to watch movies or TV shows or whatever, from time to time, take, I don't know, half an hour of your time, go to YouTube, find your favorite travel blogger, or learn about a country that you don't know of, and you're going to find tons of choices of people who travel there in your own language, and they're going to walk around the city showing you what's what, explaining to you how people live, and then you can use it in your tour tomorrow.
You haven't been there, but you have the knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I really like this guy. What's his name? Binsky.
Binsky.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He been all of the countries on the globe.
Interesting.
And he's on YouTube.
Is he a German guy?
No. He's an American.
Okay.
Binsky, Really good videos.
Because I think it's in TikTok or in Instagram, I follow this German guy who is trying. He's very young. He's like 22 or something, and he is trying to go to all the countries in the world. That's his goal. And then he starts posting like, "Hey guys, now I'm in Botswana."
Exactly. No,
this
why
week.
you know
And
about
like,
Botswana?
What the fuck? Okay.
Exactly.
And then he shows you the market, the city. He talks to people, and then next week, "Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm in Algeria." Like, wow, okay. And I think
I
he
like
has
those
been
ones.
It's crazy because he goes everywhere and shows you things about a country that you never thought of. Like, I recently saw his video in Turkmenistan.
Okay.
I had no
It's a
knowledge.
dictatorship.
Hardcore.
Kind of like North Korea style.
Exactly. But it's fucking incredible how huge the country is, and it's only 6 million people. So in Ashgabat, which is the capital, it's like a city out of a dream. It's modern,
Marvel, no?
all white marble everywhere, and a golden mosque. By regulation in Ashgabat, all the cars have to be white.
Oh yeah.
You cannot buy any other color but white. So all the city, it's white marble, white cars. A lot of people
And
wearing
super
the same
clean,
clothes.
right?
Extremely clean. Huge parks empty, no people whatsoever, and fucking cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, a city out of Black Mirror or something, because everything is perfect, pristine, working, no one around, just like two people walking there, completely empty park, but it's wealthy, like that dictatorship.
Because of oil, no? Or
Oil, gas, and there's another resource, I don't remember which one, but they're crazy rich, and they don't even know.
Nope.
Because there's no crime, people don't go out. They all live in a weird bubble.
A Marvel house.
So is that gonna help me to sell something? Maybe.
For sure.
Because I know about it and I can bond with somebody who knows about it.
Exactly. Or at least your perspective.
Yeah. I don't talk about Orlando all the time. There's something different, for God's sakes, right? So when you talk to owners, because you have a lot of experience talking to existing owners, right? There is a misconception in this business that selling to owners is easy.
I heard.
Do you agree?
Not necessary.
No,
not necessary. So I remember when I started. I started on in-house.
Yes.
And I think after 3 or 4 months, they gave me an opportunity on members.
Okay.
And I was like, well, yeah, I take it, sure. I didn't know what does it mean, no? And I remember the first 2 months, I wasn't selling.
Okay.
Like, nothing.
What was the difficult part?
I just didn't feel it.
Okay.
I mean, I was new in Timeshare, no? So I was still at the beginning. And I remember after 2 months, I was like selling like $50,000-$60,000. I said, no, I cannot do this. And I went to the manager and said, you know what? You told me that it's a great opportunity. I'm selling less. I want to go back to in-house. Put me back on in-house. I said, no, be patient, calm down, breathe, take 2 days off. Okay. And it just clicked.
Okay.
Like literally from one day to another day, I started to sell.
Okay.
But the concept, the way how you upsell, it's totally different.
Yeah, you cannot treat an owner the same way.
No.
At all. Specifically because when people talk about upgrades, it's an educated customer. They know the product. They have been to presentations. Most of the existing timeshare owners are curious about other products. So when you own something and they invite you over to a presentation, it's usual that they are very greedy about the gifts. So normally for OPCs, for the marketing department, it's an RCI. They are II. They are exchangers. Usually what that means is that they are going to be hard to sell but easy to invite.
Exactly. They know the game.
They know the game. They are going to negotiate and they're going to ask you for a lot of gifts to say yes, because they do it every time.
Yes.
And then when they go to their own home resort, that's the tricky part, because it's like the at least in my experience, the most difficult part tends to be the today.
Exactly.
Because they are already there.
Or new buyers is different. I don't know, like there's so many different pitch to create urgency. But what about the owners? You already own something, no?
And I've been here 10 times.
I know this. I'm doing this every year 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Why 2 days? And I think the discovery is totally different.
Okay.
The owner. Like with a non-owner.
Okay.
Like you gotta be more direct to the product. And you need to find the need or the want
And how do you do it?
I think everything is based on the discovery.
Okay.
I think that's, for me, this is a crucial part of my conversation.
Okay. So for someone as disciplined and process guy as you are, do you have a process about discovery?
Absolutely.
How does that work? How do your process work?
I have my discovery questions,
Okay.
not like an interrogation,
Uh-huh.
but I know that after the discovery,
Uh-huh.
I must have the answers for my 10 questions or 8 questions or whatever I have.
Okay.
But I think it's important to do it like a natural conversation. And I think that's very, very important, because the whole presentation is going to be based on your discovery.
Yes.
And the other thing is the complaints.
Okay.
How you handle complaints.
Okay.
This is not working, reservation, it's not that they promised us,
Okay.
but your intention is selling more.
Uh-huh.
So if that thing is not working, how you gonna overcome?
Exactly.
How you gonna turn it around?
So, for example, let's not use your experience in this case. Let's use mine.
Okay.
Because I have no problem talking about what I have done in the past. There was an all-inclusive place where I worked at.
Okay.
At Owner's Line,
Okay.
where owners were pissed, like fucking pissed. 8 out of 10 were mad about reservation process. They don't pick up the phone. They don't reply my emails. Sometimes showing me, for example, a phone saying like, hey, listen, I sent an email 6 months ago. Look, when did they reply to me?
If they replied.
3 days before their trip. It's like, this service sucks. The room is amazing. The hotel is great. But this process stresses me out because nobody picks up the phone when I call.
Beautiful.
And I'm like, oh shit. So that was the first thing, right? Like that was at hello. So vomiting all this shit. So going back to what you were saying about complaints, how do you normally deal with somebody who's bitching like that?
First of all,
Yes.
listen.
Sit back
Listen.
and listen.
Until they speak. You just listen. Actively listen.
Okay.
And what I like to do in that case, the hurt is there. And you know, or you knew, that 8 out of 10 they're gonna complain.
Yes.
So okay, I'm gonna receive these complaints. How I'm gonna solve it? I like to do write it down. Let me forward it to my manager.
Okay.
You know, either playhouse, either real thing. You know.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big advice for the newbies. Say that you have, I don't know, I'm thinking about Moon Palace, and you have somebody who's renting, you know, in the regular line, not even an owner.
Okay.
And the guy is complaining about the room because it was too noisy and the air conditioner was leaking, so they couldn't sleep. If they are bitching about it, give them the time to decompress and to let it out. Grab a piece of paper and start writing down.
I would say make them write it down.
And then, okay, please, sir, help me out.
Exactly.
What else do we need to know? I need to forward it. Thank you so much for the feedback. We're going to take this to the highest management team here because we need to fix it. And then maybe if you want to play house, call the manager.
Call the manager
Say,
in
hey,
front of them.
You know what? We have this situation right here. Listen, right? And let the manager use his expertise and deal with it. And they're going to feel listened, taken care of. And I don't know, when you tell somebody, let's say that there's an argument. Let's say that Mate and I are having an argument. If there's a point in the argument when I say, you know what, you're right, then the argument is over.
Pretty
because
much.
I already said that you're right.
Okay.
You cannot fight with someone if you agree and say, you know what, you're totally
And
right.
you shouldn't fight. You shouldn't fight back.
But there's people that does. Fighting the customer saying, no, but it's because, no, but come on, you booked through Expedia. Come on, what were you expecting? Dude.
But it's different. First-time buyers and owners.
Oh, absolutely.
But what I was doing
Yes.
in that case is that I actually did the follow-up.
Okay.
Put your phone number down.
Uh-huh.
And I texted them a follow-up message. Hey, we just had a meeting. We know about your case, working on it.
Okay.
And I tell them straight up, you know what? Whatever I say here, it's not going to solve this problem. I'm not here to say sorry, because that's not going to change it.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to listen to you. Thank you very much for the feedback, but let's move on. But then you know what you're going to sell there.
Yes.
You're going to sell your services. You got to think out of the box, no? So if you know that you're going to have a lot of complaints that how you as a sales professional can solve it. Says, you know what? How would you feel if from today I would be your vacation advisor? You think that would be beneficiary for you, for your family? How you mean? What you mean? Yeah. But that's not gonna be for free. Make sure that they know your intention.
I'm expensive, bitch.
Exactly. Everything has a price.
I'm the sexy accent.
And they love it. They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
You gotta find a solution.
I agree. When you come across with somebody who says, yeah, you know what, but I already have enough. I'm okay. I don't need more.
That's tough.
What's your next step?
That's tough. Again, everything based on discovery. Maybe you don't need more, but you need better.
Liking it.
Bigger villa size. Bigger vacations. Or different vacations.
Okay.
There is always an angle. Now, I'm not saying that I'm always finding the angle, but that's my job. That's why I'm a professional.
Yes.
That is the catch.
I like that. That you could be content, but you could be better.
Exactly. If you're happy, that's why you need more. If you're not happy,
that's why
let me fix it.
Yeah. Do you remember when you were in your first 6 months, your first year in Timeshare? What was what were the things that you admire the most in the best sales reps or the best closers in the industry? What was that thing that you said, like, how do they do this?
My managers, they were like chameleons.
Okay.
Like they knew how to talk to the single lady from Missouri.
Okay.
They knew how to talk to the New Yorkers, the business owners, to the pochos. It's like, wow. Wow.
What an actor.
Exactly. How you do that? How you identify that fast? What pets you're gonna take? What you gonna pitch? What you gonna ask?
True. Yes.
So you have to have like 100 different
personalities.
Because the end goal is to get the sale.
Yes.
Okay. But how you gonna get to that point? There's hundreds and hundreds of ways. From the handshake, for the first handshake, till the last handshake.
Yeah, when you're the person who says good morning and then you're the person that says, okay, welcome to the club, there's a lot of things happening in the process that took you there. And it's all about finding out what do these person in front of me needs and what does this person hates.
Absolutely.
And what are their fears and what are their wants, the desires. So I think that's the art, the beautiful part of this job. Like being able to, to bond with people that were completely strangers to you a couple of hours ago. And then they walk away 3 hours later with a contract and loving you to death.
Loving you.
Like, oh my God, we want to adopt you and take you with
Inviting you. Hey, well, next time when you come to Wyoming. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually go all the time.
Actually, I was planning to go there.
I needed a friend in Idaho.
Finally. But it's like you have your line.
Wyoming. Wait. What the fuck is in Wyoming?
There you go.
I always tell Midwesterns when I have them in front of me, and I already have the, confidence to say it. Like, okay, so if one day for some weird reason I was to visit your hometown. What do you recommend?
Okay.
And they start trying to sell to you their ugly hometown. It's like, okay, we can meet in New York. They go like, okay, I get it. That's because, I mean, if they are from Chicken Leaf, Arkansas, what the fuck are you gonna sell to me? Like, okay,
There's a really nice burger place on the corner.
Their family diner in the road.
The diner.
Why don't we just go to Florida together?
Exactly.
But I think that's one of the, I don't know, the symptoms when you can tell that you already have a good relationship and bonding with people, when you can start joking.
Exactly.
And, like, bully a little bit and talk
teasing
about,
them, no?
Like a funny joke about something stupid about their hometown or the team that they like,
or they ask questions about you. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
I think that's the whole concept of it, that you have to have a line.
Yes.
But you gotta be flexible because it's never gonna go that way.
Yes.
But you know what to react, how to react.
And now we're recording this episode in April.
Okay.
But they're going to listen to it at the end of April, meaning that in some, if not most of the projects and tracks and companies out there, high season is about to be done. Because usually they say that in April, we go back to May, June, and early July, which is usually rough. I just say that the market changes and the reasons why people travel changes, because it's less expensive, but that doesn't mean that the rich people don't travel in June or July or May. They do, but for different reasons.
Exactly, more like family vacations, no? Kids gonna be in summer break.
At least in my experience, May and June, it's a great time for business owners in the US and Canada to take a break.
Okay.
When they don't have little ones or kids to travel with during spring break, because they don't like that. They don't like crowds. They don't like to be surrounded with families with babies. Maybe they are in their 50s and their 60s, and they just take a few days off in May because they know weather is nice. It's not as hot as the summer, but kids are gone. They are in school. So we can take a 5-nighter in Cancun. And you have this guy who has 5 different pharmacies and he's making lots of money and they just needed a break.
Just a short.
May happens to be a good time. We like it when it's chilled. And that single person maybe makes more money than 10 of your good customers in April, because the kids are not in college and he's a business owner and he owns a lot of money. So I think May and June usually is a misconception about off-season, because then we have a lot of newlyweds and young couples. Yeah. A lot of them. Honeymooners. September, October, and May and June.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of people get married in May because it's cheaper and weather is nicer than the winter.
But I think that's a great opportunity for us.
Of course. Yes.
I don't really believe in low season and high season. And I 100% agree with you.
Yes.
The market changes. What does it mean? That you have to change.
Oh, yes. You have to start preparing your pitch for honeymooners,
family, business owners,
for black families,
whatever.
Yeah, because May and June is when a lot of people that couldn't afford to travel in April, so they rather come in May.
Absolutely. And you can paint the picture for them.
Yes.
Imagine how beautiful is this in the summertime.
Imagine the price of May, but whenever you want.
December, January.
And then Shaniqua goes like,
I've been there, done that.
Okay. Because with black people, I mean, they are very irresponsible with money, just like Latinos. It is what it is. They want the shiny, beautiful product, but they want it for peanuts. So we have to customize it that way.
Absolutely. The emotion, you know that it's going to be there.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But you need to find the money.
Exactly.
reverse with business owners, it's hard.
Because there's no fucking emotion.
Nope. Or really, really hard to open them up, no?
Yes.
The money is there, okay, but to get there. So it's two totally different concept.
That's why being a chameleon is so important.
Exactly.
I think in my career, I will consider myself good at bonding with Latinos, pretty much from all over Latin America. I think I'm good at bonding with Latinos. It's really, I think I improved and became really a master closing Mexicans, because when I worked in UBC, I've spoke about this before in these episodes. There was a point in time when I was the youngest manager in a room where all the big sharks were taking owner referrals, and the gringos and the Canadians. So as a manager, my only benefit was, okay, there's Mexicans, you get to pick. So I had to become good selling to Mexicans. So
I like that's mindset. It's beautiful.
I'm like, okay, you guys don't want the Mexican customers, I'm taking them.
Let me masterize it.
So fuck it, that's my field. And I became really good at selling to Mexicans because I am really cynical and I know how to make you laugh, and I know how to, tease you, not to offend you, but be like, oh, come on, don't give me that shit.
That's a fine line, though.
Oh, yeah, but since I'm Mexican, I know how to tweak the words to say something really offensive, but not to you, to a person who's not here, to make fun about a stupid excuse that you could give me at the end. Because Mexicans are really good at saying, oh, you know what, not today, but give me your card, and I'm going to call in a month, and I'm going to pay it cash.
It's just, right now I invested my money in my business.
I just bought a car and 2 apartments, but just give me a month, and I'll call
pay you cash.
Cash. I don't like to finance. I'll pay cash. So we know these ridiculous excuses. So I use them before you even talk about them. So there's a way to, work with Mexicans so you exclude all that stupid stuff. But I didn't know, because I had to work. I had to practice. I made a couple of people mad at me and stand up and walk away, and I'm
that's
like,
the learning process.
Okay, so that's the line. I shouldn't go that far, right? I fucked it up multiple times. But I can say that if you put me in front of a Mexican customer, regardless if he's a pocho, or he's a guy from Michoacan who works in a farm, or he's a Jewish business owner from Mexico City, I can bond with all of them. But then my difficult chameleon part, right, is, for example, Chinese, because I don't know, I cannot read. I consider myself good at body language, but it's really difficult for me to decodify when you just go like this and say, with a smile in your face, and I'm like,
what's behind that smile?
Are you mad? Are you analyzing?
Do you understand me?
What the fuck is wrong? And then you start speaking in Mandarin to your wife, and I'm like, okay, I'm totally lost here. What's going on? And 2 days ago, I was with this Chinese guy who had his ChatGPT in front of him. Everything I said, he would ask ChatGPT. Anything. Like I would pitch Paris, he would ask ChatGPT about Paris in Chinese.
Wow.
And then, I don't know, so when I try to make the anyway money, like, okay, how much you spend and how much it would be in inflation rate, he started asking ChatGPT about inflation rate, challenging everything I would say. Like, okay, I came up with a $21,000, $22,000 budget for like 10 years, something like that. And he's like, no, your math is off because ChatGPT is telling me that it's less. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay. So at the end of the presentation, he decided not to join because he literally asked ChatGPT if it was a good decision financially for him to buy the membership. And the machine said no.
Wow.
You shouldn't buy it. And then he's like, no, you know what? This says that I shouldn't buy it. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, okay, listen, sir. This is, I feel like in a fucking Netflix show right now.
Like Black Mirror.
This is crazy. So I told the guy, listen, personal recommendation from my behalf. I know that you trust your phone a lot, but this tool wasn't there a year ago, 2 years ago. So go to the beach, go to the pool, and if you see somebody with a thingy that says vacation club, that means that they're owners. Ask them about their experience. Ask them how come they are here during spring break, which happens to be a peak season, and everybody says that there's no availability. How come they are here in spring break as owners? And ask them. He literally said to me, I don't trust people. I just trust ChatGPT. I was like...
What did you say?
I just said... so when he threw that ball at me, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got nothing.
I never got that objection, ChatGPT.
I just told the guy, I know when to give up. I'm giving up on you.
You know what? Thank you. Go for your gift.
Fuck off.
Wow.
That happened 2 days ago.
Wow.
And it happened to be with Chinese. So they're my poison.
Yes.
So if you know how to sell Chinese,
please,
I need a training about it. Because the more I learn about it and the more I practice, the more overwhelming it becomes, because I don't know how to deal with... I'm learning a lot about Indians.
Okay.
Like never before.
Great opportunity.
I'm creating a seminar specifically about Indians.
Nice.
Because I have become good at selling at them. My resistance period is over.
Okay.
So now I'm learning about them.
Indians. Interesting market.
I'm far from being there with Chinese.
That's the next one.
Hopefully. So any assistance is welcome.
Exactly.
Do you have a final advice? Let's say 1 or 2 things that you could say to the newbies, those who are new in the business, that you would have loved to hear from someone experienced when you were new in the business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go for it.
I think selling, it's a skill set.
Okay.
What does it mean for me that I can learn it?
Okay.
Have your goals. Have your own why, your own motivation.
Yes.
And do whatever it takes.
Okay.
Don't give up. Because this business has great opportunities. I'm talking about the 10%, top 10%.
Yes, the top sellers.
The top sellers. Constantly top sellers. Be there.
Yes.
Have your motive and dream big. Dream big. And just keep grinding it. You cannot give up.
So you would say that it's not just about talent.
I do not believe in talent.
It's discipline.
There is no talent. Hard work always beats talent. That's my mindset.
Yes,
just
and it is.
A little personal story. In 2016, I was living in the States.
Yes.
And I decided to compete in the Golden Globes tournaments.
Golden Globe, okay.
In Colorado. So I went there. Long story short, I was knocked out.
Okay.
Like, I don't remember nothing.
Oof.
No? It's okay. They were driving me home. That's the first picture that I have. So I'm sitting in a car, having an ice cream. It tastes like blood.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, shit, what's going on? The last picture that I have, I was in the ring.
Wow.
Okay. It was in 2016. I was like, one day I'm going to be a champion of Golden Globes. I don't know how. I don't know when. I'm going to do it. 2019, in Georgia, I became the heavyweight Golden Globes champion.
3 years later.
3 years later. It took me 3 years. But I got there.
Wow.
It's the same here. It's exactly the same here. Your mindset.
Okay.
Because if you can dream it, you can make it. Is it easy? No.
No.
Is it gonna come overnight? No.
No. This business is totally about how much you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it.
Exactly.
If you, practice for 2 hours, then you're 2 hours ahead of the guy next to you who you are competing against.
Exactly. And constantly you gotta do it. What you do in the afternoons, not in the office, outside of the office.
Yes.
How you get prepared. And again, I'm not talking about product knowledge.
Yes.
And believe it. If you do not believe in yourself, how you expect the customers, your managers, your coworkers to believe in yourself? No, it's you.
Yep.
And that's my mindset. No.
Love it. I love it. I think you guys can relate to that, because look at the person in the top. Look at the top 3 producers, and they are very determined people, and they are disciplined, and they are always learning new stuff, and that's constant in all teams, and that's not a coincidence. So when you really put effort into it and you're determined about what you want to get, you're gonna have to do something to be there, and it's gonna pay back.
If you wanna have extraordinary goals, you gotta do extraordinary preparation. Wow.
Amen to that.
All right.
Salud. Thank you so much for listening to this. Muchas gracias por escuchar un episodio más. Por cierto, les tengo que decir que el 15% de descuento que tienen en Delicat para ir a comer y bebidas no va a durar para siempre, pero aprovechenlo antes de que se vaya. Aquí les vamos a dejar el código, porque ahí en donde hicimos el curso presencial en Delicat, si usted llega y dice, oye, yo soy escucha de Champaña por favor podcast, te van a dar un 15% en la comida si pides un sándwich, una ensalada, un café. Si van 2, 3 personas, todo mundo tiene el descuento del 15%, pero úsenlo mientras lo tengamos, porque pues alguna ventaja debemos tener de estar en este negocio y escuchar Champaña por favor. Entonces aquí va a estar el código para que lo puedan usar. Y si quieren escuchar alguno de los cursos que ya tenemos hechos, pues ya saben cómo contactarnos. No dejen de seguirnos en Instagram, porque ahí es en donde se publican todas las promociones de los cursos nuevos. Y bueno, ya que tengamos listo el curso para indios, siempre digo hindús. Hindú es una religión. Indios, para clientes indios. Ese lo vamos a lanzar probablemente en mayo o junio, porque estoy trabajando muy duro para generar contenido que nos sirva a todos, para venderle a clientes indios. Les aviso con anticipación que es un curso en el que vas a aprender mucho, que te voy a retorcer el cerebro para que aprendas cosas nuevas, pero que te va a servir para que no te digan I'm gonna need to think about it. Tan convencido estoy de ese pedo que hasta dioses indios tengo tatuados. Ya aquí tengo a Ganesha. Entonces me estoy metiendo mucho en esa cultura, pero bueno, ya se los compartiremos después. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
A ustedes también.
Take care, guys.
Nos vemos en el que sigue. Y pues nada, nos vemos pronto con toda esta información. Cuídense mucho. Chao.